informative speech is on adopting a dog. And it's to inform the audience on the benefits and advantages of adopting. How many people do you know that want to adopt a dog, but they don't know the process that they have to go through in order to adopt? Because when I see a lonely dog in a shelter, it breaks my heart to see that they have no home to go to and no one to care for them. Through my research, I learned that there's an adoption variation where there's different kinds of shelters you can adopt from, and there's a different process you can go through. In my speech, I'm going to be covering the different types of shelters, the process of adoption, what to expect with your finances, bringing them home, and caring for them. Pet Finder offers a shelter search. So when you're picking your shelter, you go onto their website, you enter your zip code, and shelters around you will pop up, and it shows you the availability that they have and the distance that they are from you. It shows the different kind of dogs that they have available and what they have at their specific shelter and how old and so on. Pedigree offers a breed survey, so you fill out this questionnaire and it shows you the breed that they think would be most fit for you in the environment that you live in. It also comes down to preference. Would you rather have a puppy or a dog? Or would you rather have a rescue dog or a newborn dog? Once you've picked the shelter that you want to go through with, you would just need to contact them. So you would call them and you would schedule an appointment to go see all the dogs that they have available. So during your visit, it's good to keep an open mind and to ask a lot of questions so you know exactly what you're getting into and what kind of dog would be best for you. Pedigree has an article online that shows you what kind of questions you should be asking in case you can't think of any that you would want to ask yourself. Be prepared to have to go through an interview and to fill out a lot of paperwork. And it's also good to know that to remember you don't need to make a decision that day. You can always come back. Don't settle if you don't know what you want. Filling out your application, you would need to wait for it to be submitted, and then if it is approved, you would bring your family back for them to meet the dog, and if you do have any additional pets at home, you would also have to schedule another appointment to bring those pets back so they can meet the new dog and make sure they're all going to get along and there's not going to be any problems at home. So after that, you would then schedule a pickup date. So you would come back and determine when you're going to bring your pet home with you. What to expect while you're waiting to bring your new pet home is potty training. Wes Rosslers has an article that shows you what the best rules are for potty training. Although your pet may already be potty trained, they still are going to be anxious and nervous in their new home, so they aren't going to know when they're supposed to go and where they're supposed to go when they do have to go outside. In the potty training process, it's also good to remember to reward them, to be patient, and to reward them for when they do go outside on their own or they do remember where they're supposed to be going. You're also going to have a lot of schedule alterations, so in your everyday schedule there's going to be changes. You're going to need to fit in time to feed them and to take care of them and play with them, to make sure they're getting the exercise that they need, whether it's taking them for a walk or playing fetch with them. You are also going to need, during the day if you're not home, to be able to come home and check on them to make sure they're doing okay without anyone home watching them. You're also going to need a lot of patience in the first few weeks of having your pet home. Pedigree goes over ways to show you how to make sure you maintain that patience and that you don't get overwhelmed or you don't take it out on the pet, because they are new to you and they are new to this home, so they aren't going to know how they're supposed to be acting. There's going to be adjustments, so knowing that you can't just come home and leave whenever you want. You are going to have to make sure everything's taken care of and everything's going to be picked up and out of reach for anything for them to destroy. You can't just leave stuff laying around. For your finances, the Animal Humane Society has a chart that shows you what kind of finances you're going to need to start budgeting for their food and toys. Their ID and tags need to be registered, so it shows you what to expect with adoption fees and all the money that you're going to need to be putting into this if you are going through with it. For now, you're ready to take home your pets, so it's the day to go pick them up. So on the ride home, Animal Rescue League of Boston suggests that you have 2 people in the car at least, so that way one person can focus on driving and one person focuses on the animal to make sure they're not getting too excited or too overwhelmed in the car, to make sure they're calm. It's also good to bring 2 towels to bring towels, so that way if they do get too excited and they have an accident, at least it's cleaned up and you don't need to worry about it. When you bring them home, it's good to make sure that they feel comfortable in their new home and that they know that they're safe and they're going to be loved there. Take them on a tour of the house on a leash to make sure they know all the places that they're going to be going. If they need quiet time, like make sure they have their own little place that they can go and sit, to make sure they feel safe and that they don't get overwhelmed at home. When you're introducing them to anyone outside your immediate family that they haven't met yet, Pedigree suggests that you introduce them to crowds no bigger than 2 people, just so they don't feel overwhelmed or like being ganged up on or anything like that. If any children under 12 are being introduced to the pet, make sure they are supervised at all times, just in case the animal may lash out because they don't know how to react to kids or anything like that. So now that they're home and they're getting into the routine of things, it's good to start learning how to care for them. So you're going to need to establish a daily routine. The Animal Rescue League of Boston has a article online that shows you the general idea of how setting a routine works for your pet. Your daily routine would consist of feeding them on time, giving them a sleep schedule, making sure they're going outside on a routine, to make sure that you're paying attention to them at all times. You are going to need to start cleaning up after them, whether it's outside after they go to the bathroom, or inside, clean up all the toys that they leave around the house, just in case you have guests come over and all that. You're also going to need to schedule appointments, whether it's for grooming them to make sure their coats don't get matted or get fleas on them or any other type of ticks or anything, and then also their veterinary appointments to make sure that their health is staying intact and that they're not getting sick or anything, to make sure they're all kept up on their shots or any vaccinations that they may need. Okay. And then in my conclusion, it's really important to realize the responsibility that comes with caring for a new pet and to make sure, are you ready for this type of responsibility? Thank you.